We may not know how the football world will be in the year 2100. The big European leagues might not have the sway as they do right now. There is a possibility that South American players stay in their home countries and prefer their comfortable surroundings. Or it may be that Major League Soccer catches everyone's fancy and all the top players prefer to play in front of American audiences. The retirement home of footballing legends would be the big stage where everyone has to prove themselves. Scratch that, the lure of the Copa Libertadores might triumph over the Champions League, and players might line up to showcase their talent in the new hub of footballing experience. The European Super League might finally come into existence and put everything else in its shadow. Or there might be a bigger global league, where top clubs from across the blue-green dot fight for supremacy. Amidst all the suppositions and hypotheses, one thing is for certain. There will always be the question about who the best player of all time is. It was Pele who held the crown with competition from French Puskas, Eusebio and Alfredo Di Stefano. Then came Diego Maradona and put Johan Cruyff, Gerd Muller and Michel Platini in his shadows. Ronaldo Nazario's star shined brightly, so did Ronaldinho and Zinedine Zidane's. However, it wasn't until the arrival and sustained success of Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi that the question of the best of all time became relevant again. Pele and Maradona had company. Messi and Ronaldo have broken all the records that lay before them. Combined together, there are very few records for the rest of the footballing geniuses to share between them. The numbers that they represent are statistical anomalies. The fact that the duo grace the pitch at the same time is a privilege for fans and neutrals alike. Both Messi and Ronaldo were childhood prodigies, making sacrifices from an early age, and have gone on to surpass every ambition that lay in front of them. However, it's also put forward the discussion of the best back on the table. For a long period of time, Pele and Maradona had dominated these discussions. The legends are still relevant on the subject, but the debates have gone to another level with the entry of the current stars. The fact that Messi and Ronaldo continue to make a mockery of their rivals at the ages of 33 and 35 respectively is a feat in and of itself. While the question is eternal and other pretenders will join their ranks down the line, Globe Soccer Awards made the distinction for those who are undecided. Pele and Maradona are out of the question, as Cristiano Ronaldo pipped his eternal rival Lionel Messi to be crowned Player of the Century. The award makes sense. Ronaldo's been the driving force for title successes in England, Spain and Italy. He's won the Champions League 5 times with 2 different teams. If that's not enough, he was the driving force that earned Portugal the 2016 Euros. Only the FIFA World Cup evades him. Messi has been a great ambassador of the game and matches CR7's silverware tally, but success only in Spain with probably the best club team of all time is a smudge on his perfect record. The Globe Soccer Awards might not have the same prestige as the Ballon d'Or, but it sets the bottom line for further discussion of what should be expected when the best player of all time or even this century comes up for debate. Cristiano Ronaldo is the benchmark, and the many fans who he's touched during his adventures will attest to it. In his 19-year football career, there have been many matches where he stood out. With 654 goals and 223 assists from 864 competitive outings, everyone has their own Ronaldo moment. Here are 15 times when Cristiano proved that he is the player of the century. 1. Retiring in the final of Euro 2016. Cristiano Ronaldo cried his heart out as Greece beat Portugal in the final of Euro 2004. He was a scrawny teenager then, an up-and-coming prodigious talent who had a long way ahead of him. En route to the Euro 2016 finals, Ronaldo had amassed 12 years of international and club football experience. The kid from Madeira was on the wrong side of his 30s. He'd claimed 3 Ballon d'Or awards, 2 in successive years. He was not the force of nature that he was before. Netherlands challenge, and it was his final chance at European glory, something to give his beloved Portugal back. Ronaldo was ready for the big occasion. After all, he is the man for the big occasion. However, his best laid plans came to an abrupt end. In the 17th minute, he sunk to the ground. When the play was stopped, a visibly distraught Ronaldo was crying. He was unable to continue and motioned to the sidelines to be substituted. Ricardo Quaresma was brought on to replace him, but the drama didn't stop there. Ronaldo was seen on the sidelines barking orders and motivating his teammates. In the end, an extra-time Eder goal was the difference. Portugal managed to inflict the same misery on France at Parc des Princes what Greece did to them, and Ronaldo towered above everyone else with his passion for the game. 2. Double to knock out the Netherlands from the Euro 2012. Ronaldo should have had his hands on the European Championship long before the summer of 2016. It should have been realised in 2004 on home soil. However, the Greeks came out of nowhere, swept everyone aside and took the honours. The final loss remains his biggest loss to this day. This is why the forward came alive when taking on the challenge of the Netherlands in the European Championships. The Dutch had made it to the 2010 FIFA Cup finals, and had Arjen Robben taken his 2 chances against Spain in the final, they would have been crowned champions. They were tipped to knock out Ronaldo and company, but it didn't pan out how they'd hoped. CR7 was ruthless on the night. Not only did he finish the game with 2 goals to his name, but he also hit the woodwork twice. Ronaldo was a man possessed and was unstoppable. Whenever he cut inside from his wide position, he didn't have to think twice. He was like flowing water, making his place and forcing the issue to his liking. His strikes not only allowed Portugal to make their place in the quarter-finals, but also saw Luis Figo leapfrogged by their Seleção's new leader. 3. Hat-trick versus Spain. 2018 FIFA World Cup. Despite breaking French hearts in the 2016 Euros, Portugal remained dark horses for the 2018 FIFA World Cup. The squad that took the pitch against France had aged, but the young guns had failed to live up to the expectations. Ronaldo had persevered as always. He was 2 years older and 2 years wiser. Following their triumph over Les Bleus, he had added 2 more Champions League trophies with Real Madrid. However, he was at the tail end of his career. At 33, this was supposedly his last international tournament. In Group B, traditional rivals Spain stood in their way. It was hailed as the Iberian Derby. Ronaldo was against his club teammates, whom he was going to bid well soon. It was all in the rearview mirror as the 2 most recent European champions took on each other in the World Cup. The Portugal captain gave a good account of his abilities and scored from the spot in the 4th minute. Diego Costa would equalise midway through the first half before Ronaldo regained the advantage for his team. Costa would equalise again. Spain would sucker punch Fernando Santos' men as they took the lead through Nacho. In the final minute of the game, it seemed Portugal were heading to an opening game defeat. Ronaldo had other ideas. He sent a brilliant free kick over the wall and into the back of the net to send the crowd into ecstasy. The points were shared thanks to Ronaldo's hat-trick. Number 4. Upstaging Zlatan for 2014 FIFA World Cup appearances. Both Sweden and Portugal failed to secure berths for footballing's showpiece event in Brazil. They had to fight it out over a 2-legged playoff affair to book their flights. In the first leg, Portugal scored a slim 1-0 win. Sweden still had a chance to outsmart the Seleção, as it all boiled down to the 90 minutes that remained. With so much at stake, the match's hype was more than ever. It was also billed as the clash of 2 generational talents of the decade, Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Cristiano Ronaldo. What transpired next lived up to the expectations. It was Ronaldo who gave the visitors the lead in Stockholm with an angled drive. Zlatan would bring the fixture on level terms with a free header. The Swede would then lash in a free kick to bring parity in the playoff affair. An unlikely comeback by Sweden was on, who were behind in the tie on away goals. Cristiano had a different agenda on his mind and didn't leave anything to chance. A quick-fire double ended Swedish hopes for qualifying for the 2014 World Cup. Ronaldo finished with 3 to his name as compared to Zlatan's 2. Not only did he cement his legacy in Portuguese colours, but he also proved to upstage one of his pretenders for the throne of the best. 5. Brace against Hungary to progress. In the footnote of Portugal's UEFA Euro 2016 triumph is their Group F meeting with Hungary. Not many remember the game, as cup competitions are hardly alive in the group stages. Moreover, a meeting between Portugal and Hungary doesn't raise many eyebrows. But not this game. This game was important. Portugal weren't leaders of their group and they were trailing Hungary. The Hungarians proved their worth and their recent billing. In the end, it required Ronaldo to deliver a stunning display in the come-from-behind draw. Zoltán Guerra opened the scoring for Hungary to add to Portugal's woes. They'd failed to get their act together and were looking at an early exit from the competition. But Ronaldo had other designs on his mind. His exquisite through ball allowed Nani to level before half-time. Balázs Csudzsák gave his side the lead again through a deflected shot on target. Ronaldo clawed at the deficit and brought Portugal in contention with the equaliser. Csudzsák got on the scoreboard again, the shot taking a deflection again before hitting the back of the net. Ronaldo would not be deterred and showed the audience what he's capable of. Despite just taking a point from the fixture, it would set the stage for Portugal's historic triumph. 6. thrashing Switzerland en route to the 2019 UEFA Nations League. To give credence to the international breaks, UEFA came up with the idea of the Nations League. With teams battling it out with teams of similar reputation, it would bring an end to meaningless matches where the gulf between teams could never be bridged. The best European teams matching up with the best, and the system allowed everyone to move up the rankings. In the future, it would also serve as the precursor for the European Championships, and qualification spots were to be made available on its basis. The first edition of the competition culminated in the summer of 2019. Portugal took on the challenge of Switzerland for a place in the final. If there are any doubts about Ronaldo being unable to bring his best when the moment required, they were quashed on this night. The Portuguese goal machine was in ruthless form and delivered on his promise. He opened the scoring in the 25th minute, but Ricardo Rodriguez equalised for the Swiss in the second half. The match was heading towards extra time, but Ronaldo wasn't in the mood. His second of the night was a low first-time finish from an Adrian Silva cutback, and the third came in the 90th minute as he raced into the penalty area, bamboozling Manuel Akanji on his way and rifling an unstoppable shot into the back of the net. Portugal were through to the final and would beat the Netherlands to become the first champions of the Nations League. 7. Mocking Messi and Barcelona. Cristiano has an appreciation for Lionel Messi's talents. However, there's no love lost between them. In the 2016-17 La Liga campaign, the Argentine irked the ruthless marksman with his iconic shirt celebration at the Santiago Bernabeu. In El Clasico, Barcelona came from behind to take home the 3 points on offer. The Portuguese must have sulked at the defeat and would have been annoyed by Messi's celebration. He had to get back at his eternal rival, the sooner the better. Ronaldo got the chance in a couple of months' time in the Supercopa de España. In the first leg at the Camp Nou, Ronaldo came off the bench with the score tied at 1-1. He repaid the faith put in him by Zinedine Zidane and gave Real Madrid the lead. The C celebration was put on hold for the night, and the Madeiran native dished his version of irony. He took off his jersey and displayed the number for the fans, mocking the celebration Messi had put in the face of the Bernabeu faithful. He would get a yellow card for his actions, but the score was settled. It showed that neither Real Madrid nor their general would take insult to their fans.
Yes, look at it fly. Moves inside Ronaldo! Cristiano Ronaldo!
8. Rising above Chelsea in Moscow. Roman Abramovich and his millions turned Chelsea into overnight Premier League and Champions League contenders. The change in dynamics was not welcomed in England or on the continent. The Russian had set his eyes on the holy grail of club football, and Avram Grant would have delivered him the coveted trophy. Not if Cristiano Ronaldo has his way about things. Following Chelsea's 2 successive title-winning campaigns in the first part of the decade, CR7 led Manchester United to their own silverware run of 3 consecutive Premier League titles. For the Champions League, it was a totally different topic. Ronaldo was on the losing end of the 2006-7 Champions League semi-finals. Gennaro Gattuso hacked at his legs all night long, and Ronaldo didn't have any protection. United would then bow down to Kaká's magic across both legs. A year later, the Madeiran native was unwilling to give up on his dream. He took on Chelsea in the final and was easily the best player on the night, despite the match finishing 1-1 after regulation and extra time. He easily converted his spot kick as the Red Devils won the shootout. It was his goal on the night that set him apart and marked him as the player of the night. Ronaldo made the jump early and floated in the air in his trademark style to connect with the ball. Chelsea defenders had no option but to watch as the ball made it into the back of the net. 9. Knocking out Atletico Madrid for Juventus. After winning everything there was to win for Real Madrid, Cristiano Ronaldo left the Santiago Bernabeu as their record scorer. Turin was going to be his base of operations for the foreseeable future after Juventus paid €100 million to secure his services. While the Serie A title was secured with ease, it was the Champions League title that the Portuguese frontman had his eyes set upon again. Juve had come close far too often without getting through in the most crucial match of the season. While that dream still lingers on, Ronaldo proved why the Italian giants broke the bank to bring him to Allianz Stadium. In the round of 16, CR7 came across familiar foes in Atletico Madrid. Diego Simeone's men dealt the first blow, claiming a 2-0 lead in the Spanish capital, with Ronaldo taking considerable flack from the home crowd. Juve had slim hopes of coming back into the tie, and it was only a sliver of hope that Ronaldo needed. He added to his tally of 22 strikes that he'd accumulated in the white jersey of Real Madrid in Turin. a remarkable hat-trick in genuinely dominating fashion showed Ronaldo's resolve where his back was against the wall. His cajones celebration must have irked the Atletico fans, but it further endeared him to the old lady faithful who gave him a standing ovation the year before. 10. Confronting FIFA with the commander salute. Ronaldo is cautious with his words in the media, but on the pitch he's a different beast. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't hear what's said about him. He has a very attentive public relations team, and they're very good at their jobs, just like the Sporting Youth Academy graduate is on the pitch. In October 2019, then FIFA president Sepp Blatter had some choice words for CR7 at a private event. Comparing Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, the now disgraced regulator said, "Lionel Messi is a good boy that every father, every mother would like to have. The other one, Ronaldo, he is like a commander of the field of play." This didn't sit well with Cristiano, who not only called out Blatter on Twitter and his distasteful remarks. It didn't end there, and Ronaldo's celebration after his goal in the 3-0 battering of Sevilla proved it. Marcelo raced to the left flag on the corner and saluted Ronaldo, who reciprocated with a salute and a frown on his face. Blatter caught flack from Real Madrid fans and went back on his words with an apology to the Galactico. 11. Putting the real Ronaldo debate to bed. Jose Mourinho likes to get under the skin of his rivals, be it players or managers. Arsene Wenger would attest to it, so would Samuel Eto'o. You can add Cristiano Ronaldo to this list as well. During his second stint with Chelsea, the special one nonchalantly put up the real Ronaldo question, favouring the Brazilian, whom he coached during his time with Barcelona. The slight didn't sit well with his compatriot, and he took it personally. As it should be understood by now, Cristiano hears everything and likes to respond in his way on the pitch. When the Blues took on Real Madrid in the International Champions Cup during pre-season engagements, Ronaldo gave him a swift and stern reply. There was no aura of a friendly fixture in the game, and the competitiveness resembled a Champions League game, but around the shores of Miami. It was Los Blancos who triumphed thanks to a masterclass from Ronaldo. His first was an exquisite free kick, to which the outstretched Petr Cech didn't even come close. The second in the 3-1 drubbing was a sensational header, which caught the Chelsea defence unaware. Since then, Mourinho has called coaching Cristiano Ronaldo the highlight of his career. 12. Not scoring in away games? Despite his incredible goal-scoring prowess, critics have managed to find a way to question Ronaldo's credentials. In the build-up to Real Madrid's Champions League encounter, the question was raised, was his inability to score in away European fixtures. Remarkably, it had come after he hit the back of the net in the 2-0 win at the Santiago Bernabeu, in which he'd scored. Ronaldo gave a shut-up call during the press conference and reminded his away goal-scoring statistics since his arrival on Spanish shores. However, the slight had been made, and Ronaldo had been irked. He doesn't like his credentials coming into question and likes to prove the doubters wrong. It was not the omen the Giallorossi wanted in their hopes for a comeback. After a frustrating first half where he came close but was denied, Ronaldo showed what he could do with the ball at his feet. Just before the hour mark, Ronaldo ran at goal full throttle, did the Maradona turn and tried his luck from the edge of the box. There was no stopping the ball once it left his feet, and the away goal doubters were proved wrong. 13. 5 goals in demolishing jobs in Espanyol and Granada. A hat-trick is not an unusual thing when you score them with consistency. Even scoring 4 goals is not an anomaly. How about 5 goals in a game? Now, that's a rarity. What if you do that on 2 separate occasions in 2 successive seasons? You must surely be recognised as an exceptional talent. The feat is even more remarkable given the fact that your biggest rival had not passed the 4-goal tally, let alone even come close to your pentuplets. It was the combative Granada who were put to the sword first. Ronaldo scored half the goals in the 9-1 demolishing job. It was running goals at the Santiago Bernabeu that night, and the Portuguese was not going to miss on a field day in front of the goal. A year later, he was at it again. However, it was his proficiency in front of goal that was the highlight of the night. In the 6-0 drubbing handed out to Espanyol, Ronaldo's 5 stood out. Unlike the thrashing of Granada in the Spanish capital, this record feat came in Catalonia. 14. Taking the lead in La Liga title race. The past 2 decades has seen Barcelona rack up silverware galore. Real Madrid have been competitive in the Iberian Peninsula, but not as effective. To break this hegemony was the main reason Ronaldo was brought to the Santiago Bernabeu. However, it was his partnership with Jose Mourinho that saw him realise his true potential. The first year of the 2 countrymen coming together did not prove to be as fruitful as everyone had hoped. Only the Copa del Rey was clinched thanks to Ronaldo's solitary goal, but the ambitions of the manager and his star pupil were higher. Wresting away control of La Liga was their target, and they delivered on the promise. To make it more interesting, the title race was put beyond any doubt with a win over Barcelona at the Camp Nou. The game was evenly poised at 1-1 after goals from Sami Khedira and Alexis Sanchez. Ronaldo forced the match away from the Catalan giants with individual brilliance. After beating the offside trap, he rounded off the excellent Victor Valdés to hit the back of the net. It was Madrid's 109th goal of the campaign as they managed to take home the points and ensure La Liga success. 15. Picking apart Wolfsburg. En route to Champions League success in the 2015-16 campaign, Real Madrid came across an energetic Wolfsburg side. They were hungry for success and the better side at the Volkswagen Arena. Had they managed to keep their 2-0 lead, they would have made it to the semi-finals of the elite European club competition, but it didn't come to fruition as the Germans had hoped. Their mistake was calling out Cristiano Ronaldo and his blank against them in the first leg. As everyone in the footballing world knows, the Portuguese doesn't like to be mocked, especially not in the build-up to crunch encounters. The Germans thought of it as a myth and went on their way. They were in for a rude awakening at the Santiago Bernabeu. Ronaldo gave a masterful account of his abilities, single-handedly knocking out the Bundesliga outfit from the competition. His first 2 goals were separated by 86 seconds and came thanks to an excellent delivery from Dani Carvajal. For his third of the night, the spectators were in for a treat as a special Ronaldo free kick was on display. It completed the turnaround job. The goals were also statistically unique as they made him the record goal scorer in Champions League history. In the process, he equalled his own record of 15+ goals in the elite club competition. In his final season with Real Madrid, he would reach this figure again. To put this achievement into perspective, Lionel Messi has only once come close to this mark, and his 14 goals in a single Champions League campaign came back in the 2011-2012 edition.